I think Roddie, somehow you are a little quieter than the rest of everyone.
I just smoked some weed, so I'm.
How does that turn your volume level down?
Oh, word.
The weed was too loud, so he had to.
From TMP to TTNG, for sure the cure and those tired meme jeans, Hella Kinsella and the promise ring, sunny day real estate and rights this spring, Prince Twinkle Daddies help keep the dream alive. I constantly thank God for Algernon and Remo Christie Front Drive, Mineral, Snowing, High Tide Hotelier, and more. Rio Limo only consists of the DC emotive hardcore, but you gotta admit, Kyle and Ellie really on that emo bullshit. You gotta admit that Kyle and Ellie really on that emo bullshit. Have you heard the tired and disavowed lonely word? Have you heard the disavowed and lonely word? Have you heard the lonely disavowed word? Have you heard the tired and lonely disavowed word?
All right, this is the 2-year anniversary episode of the E-Word. This would be episode 40 if it were releasing next, but it might not be episode 40, so let's not call it that. But we have one guest on the podcast, and we already have someone who was called into the podcast. Our special guest for this episode is Roddie from the band niiice. We finally let you on.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I've been like messaging y'all like pretty relentlessly for months now to get on, so I'm pretty stoked.
After a while, it just became a bit.
I'm ready. I'm here with my hot takes, though.
Hell yeah. I'm a little upset that this episode is not going to start with me calling our listeners stupid little piggies who don't deserve life, but that's
You should
okay.
just go ahead and start it like that. Just go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to fade in there. And we have tweeted the link out to people to call into the podcast, and before we even hit record or call, Drew from Third Row Records and Twitter.com.
Don't call me that. Don't call me Drew. How dare you?
I actually just call them Dra.
Yeah, Drew. That works.
Just drill.
Yep.
So why did you decide to call in?
Like I said, had nothing going on.
Do you have anything to bring to the table?
Absolutely not.
Are you here to like promote some pre-order for like Worst Party Ever or anything?
I wasn't, but yeah, go buy that. Go buy that record. Go buy Two Thumbs Down. Go listen to Danny the Street. You know, I could plug all day.
So the loose idea of this episode is we asked for some of your topics, takes, questions for the podcast. We have about 25 of them. Most of them are like not great, so we're gonna roll with that. But at the top of the episode, I'd like to give Roddie a proper plug for anything and ask you some questions about what niiice is up to and stuff. So, Roddie, what is niiice currently up to?
We're putting out a music video on Friday, or like in a few days. I don't know how this will probably air after it comes out, but yeah, we're putting it out in a few days, like the day before we go on tour. Oh yeah, we're going on tour. Yeah, we're like 18 days on the East Coast with Stars Hollow. I'm pretty sure about that.
I wanted to ask some like proper questions for like a little bit like an interviewing thing. So we have mentioned on the podcast a bunch about bands that are like, you know, are memey, and but I feel like the niiice memes are like, I don't know, Ellie, maybe you can come in here and help me flesh this question out.
Right.
Like,
Right. So the memes feel like they're being like they are marketing, whereas the nice memes are, one, genuinely funny, and two, feel like they're coming from a human rather than a meme generator machine that is plugged into Twitter.
They're also interactive. I'll say that.
Like
yes.
the picture of my forehead meme.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you
also
just tell that there's
nice
like
and
a
all that
personality
stuff.
behind it.
Yeah. Well, thank you. But yeah, no, I think it a lot of it stems from like my life is like a joke, you know. So it's like just making fun of like all the stupid shit that happens to me on every single daily basis.
Have you ever considered stand-up comedy? Have you ever considered opening niice's sets with like 10 minutes of just freestyle material?
I'm like an improv guy. I don't write shit. I don't got time, you know. I'm like off the cuff, firing one-liners, zingers, everything. It's all up my sleeve, but it's like just like a prepared 10 minutes. I don't know if I could do that.
Okay. Let me rephrase. If you could assemble a 4-person emo DIY Whose Line Is It Anyway cast, who would be on it?
Me. Ryland.
Good pick.
Ryland and Claudio too.
Ryland and Claudio are like the Colin Mockery Ryan Styles of DIY.
I think we have another person who just called in.
What's up? What's up,
Hey.
Rabbit Emoji Sean?
Hey, how are you doing?
Staffer Sean from the Punk News podcast.
Yeah, I haven't been active with Punk News a lot recently. I've been meaning to get back into it because I enjoy it, but it's very time consuming. So
Sean, how plugged in are you with the Blink 155 community? With,
I've been a part of Blink 155 community since day one because I was kind of following Sam Sutherland's work from beforehand.
that's and whatnot.
Yeah, I actually interviewed him my freshman year of high school for my radio show, and that's how I researched him and found all of his other stuff. He used to be in a band called Junior Battles, which is really good, great stuff. Also, they have a split with Bong Mountain, which is the band that I'm obsessed with and will take any opportunity to kind of shoehorn into a conversation. So, yeah, check out Bong Mountain.
I saw that last year and it was fucking sick.
We have another person on the call.
Where did you see him?
Tamir!
Why's your camera on?
Shit, my camera's on. No, don't look at me. Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
My favorite human. Happy birthday.
Thank you, Ellie. That's kind of you. What are we doing in here?
So Sean, can you get us on Blink 155? Because I asked them once upon a time, and they said they'd keep us in their pocket for the emo episode. But
that was the thing before the Blink 155 community was like, you know, a whole like thing. I was like tweeting at them every single week because, as I said, was there from day one. Like, I want to be on your podcast. I want to be on your podcast because it had no audience at that point. So I'm like, I can be on this podcast because anyone can. And then the first guest that they actually ever had was Chris Cresswell from the Flatliners. So already that was like way out of my league. Yeah. But I would love to be on it myself. If I knew how to get you on, I would.
This isn't about you, Sean. This isn't about you.
Yeah. I'm saying if I had that capability to get you on Blink 155, I would have used that for myself long ago, I guess is what I'm getting at.
That's fair. Slowgoers put out a new record recently.
We did, yeah, we did, and we're pretty happy with it. And reception has been nice.
I mean, I don't often do things that are like pleasant to listen to, but I dig this. So
Sweet, yeah.
It's called Ever Home. Check it out if you have the capability.
Yeah, it took too long to record it for a number of reasons, as it goes with fucking stupid DIY emo bands. But we're happy with it. So we haven't played a show in like over a year, but you know, it's chill. The worst part is that me and my bandmate play in like 2 other bands together, and they are like way the fuck more active than the Slowgoers has like ever been.
What's your
So it's
band
like-
that dresses up in like ties and shit called?
Oh yeah, Broke Royals. That's the fucking that's the pop band, which is yeah, yeah.
Amir, which person are you in the picture? Glasses, right?
Yeah, I'm the one with the glasses. Yeah, that's me. There's that band, and then the post rock band that I joined recently too, called Christava. And funny enough, all three of the bands that I've been playing in recently, not including Slowgoers, played shows or did stuff this weekend. So I've been busy. Fucking Christava played a show on Friday. Broke Royals did some live in studio shit on Saturday, and then Madasheen, the fucking like metalcore band with Alex from Infant Island and Austin from Infant Island and Michael from Black Matter Device, who are crazy. We just played in Philly last night, and that was insane. We played with Soul Glow and Binary and GIF.
Was that at
wild.
Records?
It was at Everybody Hits. Is that the record store right next to it?
That's like right down the street. I live.
Yeah.
Those apartments right there.
Oh, okay, sick. Yeah.
Where is
Was that
that?
the show?
No, I was not at the show. I did not know that was happening.
Oh shit! Damn, you missed
I know
out.
There's a Great Grandpa show right now. I'm not too into that scene, but you know how it would be.
I know
I
how
love
it be.
Soul Glow.
I understand. Yeah, Soul Glow was great. They're awesome.
I saw them in like a warehouse somewhere. It was a cool show.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I missed them
Best.
actually.
Yeah.
Oh.
I just saw Soul Glow with Gouge Away and Jerome's Dream.
Oh wow.
Oh my god, they were the best act of the night. They fucking blew the
insane.
roof off the place.
They're
Yeah,
ridiculous.
even though the vocalist like had hurt his back.
He was
so
sick last
kinda,
night
like,
too.
leaned over awkwardly. Yeah.
Yeah, he had like a cold or some shit last night.
Ruben came on to like provide some like weird guitar noise at the end of Gouge Away's set. It was so dope.
Oh hell yeah! Ruben's the best.
Amygdala was also on that show since they were the
Fuck.
San Antonio locals. Yeah.
That band has
Brain
saved
melter
me.
of a show. They were selling a T-shirt that was just their band name, a picture of Tweety Bird, like in baggy jeans and a backwards cap, and then underneath it just said "fuck ice."
Nice. that sounds about right. That sounds like Amygdala.
I bought it immediately. I spent like $100 at that show.
Nice.
Okay,
That's sick.
let's get into a proper thing here. How
I was gonna say, what are we doing?
we were talking about niiice like about 15 minutes ago.
Okay.
So
Cool. Hello.
Roddie was like, "Time for some promotion."
That was embarrassing. Sorry, I was fucking with the music video thing for Friday.
I do plan on seeing niiice when y'all come to Richmond because my friends in Wolves Clothing are playing that show. So
Cool.
I'll plan to be there.
That's gonna be sick.
So one of the takes or the topics or the questions is I am going to start with a good one here. Can a band ever stay good once they quote unquote go mainstream? I want to say there are a couple of cases of this, but there's a lot of cases against it.
I think I'm gonna say that no bands are good.
True.
That's a good take.
Yep.
That's the best.
What are we considering mainstream, first of all?
That was gonna be my question.
That is a good question. Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
like radio play like in the public consciousness? Because like my immediate go-to, even though it was like just for like an album or two, would be like Modest Mouse maybe. Although I know a lot of people would disagree on that one.
I mean, like, what about even like Against Me signing to Fat Wreck? Like, that was like a big dramatic thing for them too.
People were more angry about that than when they signed to a major.
I know. That's what I'm getting at.
I mean, I feel like we can agree in retrospect that New Wave is like still a great album. I don't know. I feel like most people like look back on that album more fondly, and obviously like these days, I mean, like I feel like everybody loves transgender dysphoria blues, so like they've put out good stuff since then for sure.
I mean, maybe the only record of theirs that I literally ever listened to is Reinventing Axl Rose.
I've
I
never
feel like-
listened to a full Against Me record. I can't
feel
say.
like Eternal Cowboy is just so underrated. I
Cowboy's
mean, that's
my favorite.
before the.
Nah. I think with the parameters of mainstream, quote unquote, being a little murky, I'm just gonna assume. I'm just gonna say when a band signs to a major label, That's like
Code
my
Orange.
branch.
We're considering like Fat a major label.
Yeah. Considering Fat Wreck,
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
Because when I hear the words "quote unquote" sellout in the context of DIY, it means signed to a major.
Okay, what if niiice signed to Epitaph?
Fucking sellouts. The whole lot of them. Fucking sellouts.
Remember there was that whole thing with Gloss a few years ago where like Gloss broke up after like getting that offer for Epitaph, and then that was a whole thing.
We talked about that a couple of
I
times.
remember that.
I think it depends on what kind of band you are. Because if you are the type of band who pushes to mature your songwriting, then I think "quote unquote" selling out can be successful in an artistic sense. For example, look at Jimmy Eat World, who basically
that's who I was thinking of.
or Jawbreaker, or Code Orange, who after they signed to Roadrunner, I feel like their songwriting way better. Like I think it all depends on whether or not you will use the resources available to you in a way that will augment your sound rather than succumbing to major label pressures to make a hit record. For example, Green Day clearly did like most of their best work after they got signed to him. They got more punk. They got heavier.
You know, there's that whole conspiracy with the new songs that they're actually just like putting out a shit record so they can get out of their label contract.
100% believe that.
I don't know. I feel like it's a bit of a stretch that they've got. Well, do you believe in the whole theory that they've got like another like good record that they're ready to release right afterwards?
Wait, really?
Yes.
I don't believe that at all. They've been making shitty records for a while now.
I mean, not a good record, but like a real record and not a fuck you record.
Is that the idea of Uno Dos Tre?
Was that the real record?
No, I mean, so they have they're like reusing the American Idiot album art and putting out songs that clearly are just like blatant bullshit, and then they're gonna release an album full of real songs like after they fulfill their contract with Reprise. Because this record that they're putting out is literally 27 minutes long, which is the minimum requirement for a full length by their contract standards.
And also, the first two songs sound exactly the same. I don't know if they released another single, but the first two that I listened to like did sound exactly the same. So I could imagine that just being them throwing in the towel.
It's a middle finger record for
There's
sure.
another person here. Who are you?
Oh, hey, what's up?
Holy shit.
My name's Tom, and I was just looking for a place to join the conversation, looking for a place to sneak in.
What's up?
Hey, Tom.
Well,
Hey, Tom.
you have snuck in.
Is this Tom Fisher?
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
What's up? How's it going?
We chilling, straight vibing.
Big
Feel me?
chill.
Congrats on
Can
2
you-
years.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks.
Can you identify which of us is speaking by your voice? By our voice?
I can tell between Kyle and Ellie, but the other people, I don't know.
I just thought it was funny because Christian Holden for the first 10 minutes of the podcast the other day.
No, I've listened to like a lot of the podcast, so
Oh yeah.
I recognize
Tom, what band are you in again?
I'm in a band called He Was an Artist, She Was a Carpenter.
Yes, that's right.
You
Didn't I
said
roast you?
We sounded like Beaker from the Muppets being strangled, I believe. And I laughed my ass off.
That's good.
For the record, I don't want to imply that means it was bad. I dug it.
No, I mean, I consider that a good thing in music.
Does anyone else have thoughts on bands being good after they quote unquote sell out?
I think it's possible, but it doesn't happen often. I think that's the general conclusion.
Like Black Parade, that's the major label debut, right?
No,
Or is that not
Cheers.
major?
That's
Their
Cheers.
Cheers was their major label.
Oh, okay. I mean, regardless, I feel like a pretty good example as well.
I can think of more
I think-
bands being successful jumping to a major label and making good records than I can think of bad ones.
So I
Yeah.
remember this going around when Death Cab for Cutie signed to a major label. Like they had like 8 lines in their contract, or like 8 pages in their contract about how they were going to maintain creative control, and I think like that's how you do it. I guess
yeah.
like shit. Like we get to choose the singles, we get to choose who we work with for a producer and stuff. But I don't
Can
know.
you think of any band that actually started to suck shit once they signed to a major?
Remo Drive. I don't know.
Bold of you to
Every
assume.
night.
They did not
I cry every
suck
night thinking,
shit.
"Hey, listen, Ellie. I'm not having this. I'm not having this right now. I'm not listen."
Okay, here's another
Yeah, I can't think
question.
of anything else.
This comes from Alex Martin, who said like y'all are fucked when they found out that Roddie's coming on the podcast.
They texted me and were like, "Are you going on the E word?" And I said, "Yeah." And they were like, "Fuck yeah." No. I think they said that's fucked.
That's fucked.
I still want Alex to come on. We were supposed to premiere a short fictions song, but it just didn't happen, and I feel really bad about it.
But Ian
You know,
Cohen
new
was
short
tweeting
fictions
about
is
them today.
crazy.
Yeah, Ian Cohen tweeted about that, and the new record is fucking insane. I listened to it, and it's
Yeah, it's really good.
stellar.
I'm excited. They're a good band.
Well, this is kind of a topical question based on what we're talking about because Alex says, what are the most anticipated year-end releases? I'll start with Max Seal because everything from that has been stupid good.
The Mover Shaker record is gonna be.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
shit!
You said the question was just like stuff that hasn't come out yet.
Yeah,
Year-end releases or stuff that's probably coming out next year.
whatever.
Because I think that Fiddlehead record's going to be a fucking bruiser.
Wait, is there a full-length coming?
I believe there's a full length coming. They released like the 2 songs,
Yeah, there's a 7-inch coming out.
but I think they got more up their sleeve.
Okay.
Not gonna
That
reveal
Grease
much.
Death LP should be sick.
It's a good one, too. That's a good shout.
I can't think of anything else.
Origami Angel.
Oh yeah, that band. Okay.
It's hard to remember because Origami Angel literally just never stops putting shit out.
They keep putting out music and it keeps getting better. It's insane.
I'm really hoping Playboy Cardi drops Whole Lot of Red.
Yo,
I was like so sad when he didn't drop it. Like I was like literally killed the vibe that whole fucking day. Like I woke up early, I was gonna listen to it, and it wasn't there, and it was fucked up.
Damn.
I'm really excited for the next dev update of Jesus is King.
Me too. Yeah, definitely.
Ugh, that
Took
record.
the words right out of my mouth.
Closed on Sunday. You my Chick-fil-A.
Number one with the lemonade.
Fucking poetry. I'm getting that tatted on my chest. On God.
I'm
You-
assuming people here
Some
know
record,
this.
You have to do that. You can't go back. You have to.
I know. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna
Kyle.
fucking do it. I'm serious about this.
Fucking do it.
I'm assuming, like, early 2020, we're going to see a bunch of emo LPs, like Stars Hollow, Charmer, Nice. I don't know. Maybe you have an LP coming?
Next summer, hopefully.
Next summer. Damn.
We just did
My
we got it written.
my favorite screamo band's putting out an album next year, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, the new Envy.
Yeah, new NVLP
Oh,
next year.
yeah.
Oh shit!
Dummy excited. New lineup that they have is insane. They're practically a super group at this point. I'm very excited.
Here's a hot take, I think. MCR's first 2 albums are emo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, for sure.
Sure.
And I think
Is that a hot take?
I think
Okay.
it was just something DM'd to us.
That's not a hot
I feel like those
It's
albums
not
are
really
like
a hot
truer
take.
to like those are truer to like emotional hardcore than a lot of the stuff that like people who are trying to like defend gatekeep emo would consider emo.
Yeah,
It's kind of ironic.
Honestly, 3 Cheers sounds a lot closer to Rites of Spring than American football does.
And like you watch like videos from those like early days where like they totally have the entire like look of like all the kind of respected like screamo contemporaries in the early 2000s and late 90s.
Yeah,
Kinda
I'd
have a white
I'd actually go a step further. I think that 3 Cheers is an emo record, and that I Brought You My Bullets is half emo, half hardcore.
Oh yeah.
That's fair.
Our Lady of Sorrows
I'm
is
melodic
like a fucking
hardcore.
hardcore song.
My uncle actually was Frank Iero's 9th grade religion teacher. And that makes listening to that one Pensy Prep LP like kind of uncomfortable.
That's sick.
That's insane. That's an Easter egg.
I'm a little bummed that Frank never played on any of American Nightmare's LPs because I think he would have fucking shredded. He was in that band for like a couple months. I don't know if people
A couple months. Oh, I didn't realize it was that short. I thought it was like a bit longer
he
than that.
was their touring guitarist.
Was that like
Okay.
well known until recently?
It was while they were Give Up the Ghost.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can bookend this question with 2 more takes. Okay.
Cosmo.
I think the upstairs neighbor's dog is coming home because he be wilding out. This hot take is Title Fight fucking sucks.
That's
Bad take.
Yo, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh,
I'm gonna
Suck.
Wait.
I'm gonna have to leave
so
this
over-
conversation.
Roddie is in the background yelling. So what do you think?
Several people are typing.
I think fucking Title Fight is so overrated. I think they're sick, but I think that like most bands that are like fit now are sicker. Like I don't get the obsession, like the
Is this
Yeah.
Roddie talking?
passionate take about Title Fight.
Roddie, was that you? Was that
Yeah.
you saying that?
Yeah.
You're a fucking idiot. I hate you.
I'm extremely late to the Title Fight hype train, as I am with most bands. But I think they're cool. I don't
I
know.
think Pay-Per-View was their best record too.
Oh wow.
Pay-per-view. That is a weird take.
That's a
Not
hot
necessarily wrong because I love all of their albums.
I just can't get excited about like Floral Green on. Soft grunge in general never really appealed to me. So
I feel like the difference is that Title Fight never went like soft grunge in the way that like Citizen did.
Yeah.
They actually incorporated like legit shoegaze influence.
I was never a
and,
shoegaze band either. So
And they always
Cymbals and guitars.
like cymbals and guitars are not.
I feel like
They're,
I've heard them called shoegaze before, but that
That
would make sense
that
why
person's
I
wrong.
like them. That's why they're the one shoegaze band I like because they're not shoegaze.
I've always felt like Title Fight's songwriting and ethos, no matter which genres they explore, are always rooted in hardcore. That's the pipeline directly to my heart.
Is Title Fight
True.
overrated though? Like because there is like towers of hype for them at all points.
Every band is overrated.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
full.
like, are they like over glorified to like the way that like when you listen to them for the first time or presently, are you just kind of underwhelmed?
I was pretty late to the Title Fight game, and like everyone had hyped it up so much to me that I thought I would, like hear the best fucking shit I've heard in my life, and I was just like,
Yeah,
"This is sick," but it's not like that sick.
that's not good for any
So-
band when they're like, you need to hear this. It's gonna change your life.
That's true.
I feel like I can't answer this question in an unbiased way because it would be like asking me, "Do you think Touche Amore is overrated?" Like, no, I've been on both these bands' trains for like 10. I feel like a lot of the people who talk about Title Fight as if they're like life-changing or life-saving music are people like me who have been into them for a very, very long time, and who just have like an inexplicable emotional attachment to them. So I guess in that sense they're overrated, and you should take it with a grain of salt. But don't take away from our fun.
Listen to the band. Don't stop listening to the band.
I mean, well, the other thing with a band
I
like
can't
Title
stop.
Fight,
I'm addicted to the shindig.
the other thing with like, a band like Title Fight is like they're so influential that so many bands kind of tried to, sound like Title Fight. So in retrospect,
Yeah.
they seem a bit like less groundbreaking. So if you're coming from that kind of perspective, I mean, it's like with any band, you can go back to like, that's why the Ramones are so boring these days because it's like there's so many other bands that came after them that like actually made more interesting music, but they were the first band to kind of sound like that. So it's like you kind of have to understand their place in time as well if calling them overrated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Since a band like Title Fight is in that position, I think it makes it more interesting for me personally to go back and listen because how many fucking like diet Title Fight bands have there been since they've
Yeah.
since Shed came out?
And also
I
the
think
difference
the
is
thing
that
you-
Title Fight did it better. Than
Yeah,
most
exactly.
bands
That's-
copied them.
I think the thing you have
Exactly.
to remember is Title Fight came at a time when it wasn't actually like it wasn't expected for hardcore kids and pop punk kids to have like overlapping fan bases.
Yeah,
Um,
that makes sense too.
And Title Fight were probably the like one of, if not the first bands to like openly bridge that gap. And I feel like hardcore kids who go on to do non-hardcore bands will still always have that faction of hardcore kids behind them, like boosting everything they do, unfailingly loyal. So I think that also has a lot to do with their hype.
We haven't talked about Glitter on this podcast before.
Oh, shit. I used to hate them, but like I actually really like this new record now that I've sat with it for a little bit.
Have you seen it live?
I have not. I actually missed them with Ceremony, which I deeply regret.
Ooh, fuck is Glitter?
Ned.
It's Ned. It's Ned from Title Fight's disco project.
It's,
Disco.
it's basically New Order karaoke.
Oh, sick.
Disco.
It's really good, and there's actually some like kind of shreddy guitar solos on it too.
Ooh, hell yeah. That sounds sick.
Next
I
question.
fucking love Metallica.
Okay. Next question. It's not a question. It is Phoebe Bridgers is emo.
Next.
These Bridgers are sick.
I always thought Phoebe Bridgers was emo. Is there debate on that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
okay.
debate on it. I disagree.
She's
I
not
also don't
emo,
know if
she's good.
Julian Baker's emo. Unlike Julian Baker,
It
Phoebe
was like
Bridgers is
better
good.
than emo.
Hey, what the fuck?
Julia
Ellie,
Baker's
what the
mad.
hell?
Julia Baker's mad talented. Her music's just not my lane. It's just doesn't
I love
do
it.
it.
What about Better Oblivion Community Center? Would you consider that emo?
You don't want to.
Better-
What did you say it was, Ellie? Audio ambient?
I said it was. I said it was music for people who think tapioca pudding is spicy.
I wasn't asking if it was good because I don't really care about it all that much. I was just asking if it was emo.
It's not emo. It's like down the middle indie rock. I also call that IKEA core.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
One time I tried to put that album on in the car with my sister and she made me turn it off. She was like, I'm going to fall asleep at the wheel. I
Damn.
like it though.
I think it's good. That's it. I do not
It's
worship either of the Phoebe or the Better Oblivion things, but they're fine.
I worship both, and I do not care about this album at all.
Okay, here is a bigger question that I think people ask a lot these days. How do I get involved in a local DIY scene? I feel like I have no connections to find out what's going on where I live.
Ooh, pick me. I can answer.
I don't know who.
Go.
Who is it? Who is that?
That was
Tiger.
Tiger.
Okay.
Shit. Like, all right. I mean, okay, let me think. All right. I joined Scram Cave, in early 2017. And that was pretty much how I learned about like local bands and stuff. Because before I was just listening to like the same 5 Screamo bands and enjoying them, but I didn't really like go to shows or anything. And then, just like met people, I was an awkward teenager like everybody else, but over time you just go to more shows, meet more people, hype up bands and stuff. Just be genuinely excited about bands and people in your scene. That's like the biggest thing, make friends, just be cool. You can shit post every now and then, people like that. And just be, above all, just be a decent person, I would say. That's pretty much it.
So I also want to answer this question, but I want to preface it by describing the shirt I'm wearing. It is powder blue. On the left side, there is a neon red fall, a neon yellow out, and a neon green boy. And then on the other side, there's a fake shirt pocket, and out of the shirt pocket, there is climbing eyeballs and tentacles and blood.
Why are you telling us this?
It is my favorite Fall Out Boy shirt that I own, and because I don't have the Chicago softcore shirt. And I just wanted to preface my answer with this so that I am truly DIY and plugged into the scene. So, like Tamir said, joining Scram Cave was good. Honestly, like joining local Facebook groups is like pretty imperative. If you go to a show and there's a local opener, check them out on Twitter and see which other local bands they follow. and like if the description of their music are up their alley, follow them on Twitter, because they'll often post like the dates for DIY shows that they're doing, and then at the shows, just try your best to talk to people. I know it's hard if you have social anxiety, but
we are
people...
all awkward. We are all awkward and shy, and that's what brings us together.
But if you really like the band, go and buy merch, and there's your in. There's your ability to start a conversation with people. From there, literally start a band.
And the other thing is like everybody at a show is there because they're interested in the music, so that's like a given talking point that you can start with.
You already have something huge in common.
Yeah,
wear a band shirt to a show.
Enough to go to a DIY shirt.
Wear a band shirt to a show.
Yeah.
It's kind of straightforward. Just
I will say
do the
that
thing.
in my experience, going to house shows by yourself is like horrifically anxiety inducing, because it's like
For sure.
because it's like 95% of the room has gone there with someone else or is meeting someone there, and I almost feel like if you run a house show, you should like part of your job is to like work the room and make sure people are like comfortable at least.
Yeah, that's extremely important.
100%. I think another problem that people have is when they're first getting into the scene, they're kind of intimidated because everyone is already friends with each other. So it's kind of difficult to like find your lane when everyone's making inside jokes and you don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, high school never ended.
Yeah. What I do is I just keep talking until people think that I've been there for a long time.
It's a good strategy.
It's a great strategy.
But if you're unlike me and you don't have diarrhea of the mouth, just try and listen until something you're interested in comes up. Wait for like a natural pause in the conversation, and then jump in with a perfectly constructed anecdote, because I know all you fuckers perfectly construct anecdotes in the shower, just for the situation.
Yeah. Don't we all?
But if you're at a show and you are like being social, I don't know, just observe the room. Try and pull people in if they're off to the side and look nervous. I don't know.
People watch, write a zine about it, and then distribute it at the show. And so people can know all the fucked up shit that you think about.
Don't do that.
But like, for real, I think like a lot of the DIY scenes and your like entry points are online right now.
Yeah, big time. Most of my friends are on the internet at this point. It's kind of fucked up.
Yeah. One of my best friends lives on the fucking West Coast. We've only met in person once, but it's sick.
Are you talking about Pigeon?
Yeah, my baby.
Sick.
Do we want another My Chemical Romance question?
I do.
Sure, why not?
Danger Days is the best My Chemical Romance album.
Oh Christ!
Next,
please.
What is the 2019 appraisal of this album?
I like it.
It's
I do too.
weird. I see like DIY kids trying to reclaim it, who are like, Danger Days is like an overlooked masterpiece. People say that it's like somewhere in like the fucking Sass lineage, which is like literal nonsense.
What the hell? What?
Yeah, because it's dancey or whatever.
No, it's fucking pop music. It's pretty decent pop music, but it's not fucking Sass. The hell?
My take on the album is that it's mostly kind of like boring, half-formed pop rock songs with the occasional like venture into ill-advised hard rock on the song Destroya. But the last song of the album, Vampire Money, is actually fucking sick.
Yes.
Like,
I think a lot of the songs are fucking sick.
That's the one that's like a fuck you to the Twilight people asking them to contribute a song to the soundtrack.
Hello.
I mean, like, all the songs have so many elements that I would think are like cheesy in like any other context, but I feel like it's got the hooks to back that up. But maybe that's just like, that I have a history with it and I'm blinded by nostalgia. I don't know.
You hit the nail on the head, buddy. Next question.
There are some good melodic ideas in there. They're hidden under like cheesy glam rock and kind of overplayed presentations, but
I mean, I don't have like an ideological bone to pick with glam rock itself, because you know, my chem delved into their like Bowie influences big time already on the Black Parade.
It's less Bowie and more like, I don't know, like Twisted Sister.
I just feel like they were trying real hard to like reinvent themselves with this album when they could have, you know, released Conventional Weapons instead.
Where are the question? Okay. This is my favorite question, I think. Where is emo headed? What will the breakout bands of next year sound like?
I asked.
Oh shit.
So, I think if you asked me this question last year, I think I would have said it would sound like California Cousins. But I think this year kind of proved that wrong.
Yeah.
I do think that bands are going to become a lot more serious.
I hope so. I want emo to get fucking heavy. California Cousins just like ruined most emo for me because like that record that record is just like far too heavy.
That's
like,
what I wish.
My hope is that emo bands will listen to Pool and just be like, oh, this is what we're gotta be making. But like throw in some twinkles. How sick would that be?
Pretty sick.
But
more easy core breakdowns.
Honestly,
maybe. I know. There's gonna be a couple coming up on Origami Angel. Yeah. Truly, I feel like emo's going full force into more pop song structures, more streamlined songs, more easily accessible songs. I feel like alternative music in general is starting to have like another breakthrough moment. It's been kind of sustaining it, like percolating just under surface level since 2017, and I think that next year might be a turning point. And I think the new Oso Oso record is going to have a lot to do with that. I think that's going to be pretty influential.
Yeah, I hope so. That record is real good.
Yeah, it's going to be hard because most people are not as good at writing songs as Jade is.
Thank you.
But
it was kind of you to say, Ellie. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot more love for power pop, like kind of coming into the fold.
Yeah,
that's been something that's been
and
happening.
That's a big thing.
People are not afraid to like say that they like Sleeping with Sirens now.
That's a great fucking thing.
It is a great thing. It's a step further than like the scene music from when I was growing up. That's like a little bit past my time. But whatever. I fuck with Attack Attack, so it's all good.
Yeah.
And I don't think necessarily new emo bands are going to be sounding like those, but they will be kind of embracing better production and polished songwriting because of that.
I think
I don't know.
I think bands sounding like they do now and people saying shit sounds like trash is because bands are getting popular off their first recorded material, and that's kind of a new thing.
Yeah,
it's kind of a bad thing.
Some people see the songwriting in it before the recording.
I mean, yeah, I can definitely like see like the roots of where someone's trying to go, but like, I feel like whatever Guitar Fight from Fooly Cooly is going to be coming up with is going to be so much better than the shit that they like already released into the world.
Yeah.
And I feel like people aren't giving bands time to grow enough before proclaiming that this shit's going to be like the next big thing.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
I say everybody has to answer this question, so whoever hasn't answered, speak up.
And I either want it to become more poppy or just mathy as fuck.
I'm kind of over mathy.
Yeah, I'm
honestly.
done with math.
Except for like California Cousins. I feel like they like I said, they ruined it for me.
Well, because they're dancey and groovy too.
I was
Like, it's not just
new shit, and it was insane. Out of this world.
There are like particular things that I would like hope to be different. Like I'm just kind of tired of hearing like the same type of like guitar tones and shit.
Yeah, turn down the treble, you know?
Turn down the fucking treble. Use like fucking fuzz pedals or something, you know?
Yeah.
Burn your fucking Telecasters.
Burn it. Well, I love my telly, but I don't know. I don't know, more T60s. Bring more fucking PBT60s into the mix,
God, I've got a
Getting
T60.
two neck
It's
straps.
fucking sick. I love that thing.
T60s are fucking insane.
I have a
Yeah.
T40.
Hell yeah.
How's your
More
back?
typical bands need to use HM2s and orange amps.
Honestly, just like fucking use sludge metal setups or whatever. I want to hear that.
Yeah. I think guitar tone is like kind of an underrated element of bands like playing with sounds. Like it's not just about
Yeah.
the song, it's about your equipment setup.
Sound is
And-
sick.
But also not everyone has the money to invest in like a complex
Of
setup.
course.
So
Of course, I have like 6 or 7 basses and guitars in my room right now. Like 2 of them are actually mine. So yeah,
Robin,
All right.
guitars.
pretty much.
All right. Has everyone answered?
Tom,
I can kind of see it going in more of a direction where it starts to take itself less seriously and becomes more fun.
are
Like,
you saying that emo bands take themselves too seriously right now?
No, but I'm saying they're gonna take themselves even less seriously.
I think in the music itself, I a lot of times they are taking themselves very seriously. Everything around that might not be, but
Okay, that makes
but like as far as like what influences come through, it can be a bit less kind of pretentious, a bit less, I don't know, quote unquote cool influences.
Especially with the new Origami Angel song, the 24-hour drive through. Like, it's a great song. It's amazing. It's really
It is.
well written, and it's about just like getting fast food, and it's like sick and it's fun.
Yeah, I think they are a great example of that actually.
Yeah.
Their music
Yeah.
is like stupid fun,
For
but like
sure.
it's like ridiculously catchy, and they're both like amazing musicians too.
Yeah, because
the recording quality
Ryland
is really
obviously
good.
takes like the music part of it extremely seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This kind of is related to the question we just went through. Anthony Fantano doesn't review new music because new emo was terrible. Step it up.
Yawn.
All music is terrible. Next question.
All music is fucking terrible.
I've told Ellie the take that we don't need Anthony Fantano to validate or invalidate emo because
No, we don't. Nobody does.
Yeah, and then I tweeted fucking emo owes Anthony Fantano nothing. It was fun. If he's not going to take the time to get plugged into it, then why bother with him? We can establish our own network,
I mean, yeah, anybody whose opinion kind of starts with "it all sounds like American football" is like kind of shows a bit of a knowledgeability.
Distance.
Yeah, because I don't even know what's coming out that really sounds like American football these days.
Not even American football.
Literally not even American football.
Yeah,
well, all right. So it would be a big deal if Anthony Fantano reviewed said new emo album. Is there anyone else adjacent or on the level of Anthony Fantano that like would be a big deal? I mean, Origami Angel had a song premiere on that one video game website, and that was a big deal.
Buff Corell, definitely Buff Corell, hands down.
Oh yeah.
Imagine Origami Angel Buff Corell cover. I mean, come on.
How about
That'd be sick.
everybody just request that on one of his videos?
Please, God, please.
What if an emo band collaborated with Nostalgia Critic on his next Pink Floyd cover album?
Literally, shut the fuck. Stop talking.
It's hard because people don't even really take Pitchfork seriously anymore, aside from like people who have tied their identity to Pitchfork. So Anthony Fantano is really one of the very few music critics who people take seriously, and I think the solution to that is start your own, do your own thing. I think that I mean, it's the music itself isn't really in his lane, but I think Vin McKenney's getting like up to that level of clout where his cosign would probably mean a lot for a band.
Who is that?
Punk Rock MBA.
Oh, does he talk about
Slash
new music?
Word.
Boy. He mostly talks about like hardcore and pop punk, but
Yeah.
I can kind of see him digging Origami Angel because their songwriting is good and they are well produced.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like everyone can. I don't know how to phrase this. I feel like the alternative does enough premieres and is the home for this stuff that it's not that big of a deal if you have a song premiered with the alternative. Is that true?
A little bit. Maybe Gold Flake Paint. I think maybe that has like some level of like clout if you get a premiere on that. But I think the alternative is just kind of like known as the home for this sort of music. And you're right. I think it's like much less of a big deal when a band has this premiere on the alternative because everyone who was previously listening to the band probably already reads the alternative.
Yeah. I remember when like a DIY band would have like a Stereo Gum premiere. It'd be like, oh shit, gotta listen to this.
Yeah,
because like it's one of us that made it onto the big site.
I think maybe Noisy.
Yeah. But Dan
But
Ozzie doesn't
websites
work
like
for them
Consequence of Sound. Yeah. I was going to say websites like Consequence of Sound and AV Club don't really do premieres anymore either.
though. I know.
We were on an AV Club playlist one time, and just out of the blue, like, it was crazy.
That's sick. I want to get published by the AV Club, but David Anthony said that they're cowards and won't accept any of my pitches. So.
Aren't they owned by the same people as Deadspin?
Yep. It's all owned by
Dark.
Gawker, but I think it's being sold.
Dark again.
You can tell. So the Onion unionized lately, and its content has been even more Marxist and left-leaning than usual.
Yeah.
So I think when it gets sold, they're gonna gut it, which is gonna be real sad.
Unionize.
Jimmy Eat World are the most consistent band in the emo genre.
I don't know. I haven't listened
Maybe.
to much after fucking Bleed American. I don't really care.
I mean, they Futures and Invented and Chase This Light are all pretty good.
Heard the new album's pretty good.
It was all right. Like I said last time, I think Jimmy Eat World has kind of like found their niche. They do bright, shimmery pop songs with like
Yeah.
kind of raucous drumming.
Jimmy Eat
They're
World.
not even emo. They're not even emo anymore.
It's like emo that can be played on the radio. It's like some kind of emo that can be played on the radio still. I don't know.
Some type of emo pop or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they are like the emo pop band that's still making music. But I feel like whenever they put out an album, there's a bunch of people saying, this band still got it. And everyone else is just kind of like,
No, they don't.
yeah, I don't know.
It's hard to say that they're the most consistent band in emo when like I feel like that kind of does not take into account DIY emo. But I don't know if I can even think of a DIY emo band that puts out albums of a similar consistency to them. Because every time you listen to a Jimmy Eat World album, you know what you're gonna get. It's always gonna be like B to B plus.
And
And
also we're
I don't
measuring them
know.
on a different metric because they've been around longer. So, like
Yeah.
than any
True.
DIY emo band that you would be talking about.
The only thing I could like say would be similar would be like long running screamo bands like Envy.
Yeah. Them are like fucking, I don't know, Jillian Carter maybe.
I don't know. They're definitely like the longest. Are they like the longest running emo band that's like hasn't stopped since the 90s?
They're the only one I can think of, yeah. Other than the ones that have like maybe come back or something after
Yeah.
like 15 years.
I mean, the
Yeah.
Get Up Kids are
Yeah.
not consistent.
Yeah, they've been around since 1993. So yeah, a long time.
Old heads.
So probably they are no contest the most consistent band in the emo genre, but
By default.
by default.
Unless you can count like bands that have just one album, but it's really good because technically that's consistent.
There's no loopholes in this.
How would you rank every decade by emo by personal enjoyment these days? Do you go back to 90s emo albums more than 2000s, for example?
Ooh.
I never listen to 90s emo. That shit not that good.
Hey.
Holy shit, Roddie is just like found.
What the fuck was that all about?
I don't know.
I don't know. That's a good question. I haven't really thought about that a ton, but I guess like two of my favorite emo albums, Clarity. What was that? 90. That was 97. That's right.
99.
99. I don't remember. Yeah, that and like the newfound interest in Connecticut.
2004.
Like I think 2004. Yeah. So I guess like that era in particular is pretty sick to me. But then like most of I don't know if screamo really counts in this conversation or not. But like personally, like 20 teens, like yeah, I guess like this decade, most of my favorite screamos come out in. I don't know. Hard for me to say.
There's stuff I like a massive amount in every single decade, to the point where it almost feels like comparing apples and oranges too, because each decade has brought something new to the table in regards to subgenre.
Yeah.
I'm like young as hell, so I like 2010 stuff for the most part, but I like stuff from all the decades.
I mean, I think I'm younger, but like really recent stuff doesn't like really grab me for the most part. Like that's a very general statement. Obviously, there's some of that, but like I feel like I mainly just come back to like late '90s, early 2000s, and then if I get into emo revival stuff, most of it's like the early emo revival.
Yeah, that's what I listen to the most, like early 2009 through 2013.
Yeah,
And
I'm sorry,
Flippers, baby.
I'm sorry that y'all were born in the wrong generation.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at, I guess.
How old is everybody in the chat, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 19.
I'm also 19.
Cool. I just turned 22 yesterday.
I'm
Happy
28.
birthday.
28. Wow. Thank you. Yeah. Cool.
Roddie, how old are
Elliot,
you?
Like,
I'm 22.
All right, I'm 23.
But I got like a way late introduction into like emo and shit. So like I'm from like a really small town in Montana, and I didn't know about shit that was going on outside what was on the radio and shit. So like
yeah.
I didn't start like listening to anything DIY until like 2016. So like
That's kind of how it was for me too.
In that specific response, Roddie, you kind of sounded like 1980s Jose Canseco.
That's a weird thing to say.
So
Sounded like a Bash brother. What do you want me to say?
So like niche.
I think my, like some of the most important music in this whole scene and all that has, for me personally, has probably come out this decade. I don't know. When I think of a band like Shin Guard or something, it's like, you know, it's like they're a band that I feel like only could have come out like in this decade too. And I feel like when it comes to, you know, other bands or albums that have come out in this decade, that's usually the case. It's like, I don't, you know, there might be a really good like fucking Indian summer ripoff band or somewhere, you know, that's like, I think it's 19 or something, but I don't really care.
I think as far as just like variety and innovation, the 90s and the 2010s are kind of tied for me. Because there's the 90s basically invented everything that's going on in the genre today. And the 2010s is taking those influences in some different unexpected directions, and also throwing in like emo rap and stuff like that, which I think is a pretty brave new frontier that I'd like to see explored from both sides of the divide more frequently.
I think the stuff that I enjoy the most is like around the time that Snowing's LP came out, because I think that time was familiar to me, but also like the beginning of a new thing. Because I remember what was going on around that time, even though I wasn't listening to it as it was coming out. So like Snowing, Algernon, and the littler bands like 1994 and stuff. I think like that's truly what I'm enjoying the most these days. But also like keeping up with music locally is like a chore in itself. Like that eats up so much time.
Yes.
Doesn't feel like a chore to me. All the Richmond bands are good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you had a scheduled next question, but I'm just interested, like, what's like the best like local, really small band from like everybody's area at this point?
Ooh.
Jolly Rancher is, as far as emo goes, Jolly Rancher. They're a really good like weird twinkle emo band from this neck of the woods. And all genre. I very much enjoy this band, Wings of Kynereth, who used to be Nap and Stob. and now they're going in like a more explicitly deathcore influence direction. But it's
Oh, I remember. Didn't they put out like a 2-song thing this year, right?
yeah, they put out a promo. Yeah,
Yeah, that thing was wild. I remember that.
DIY hardcore getting in on the pig squeal game.
Hell yeah.
Minneapolis, though.
Yeah, there's like every band from Minneapolis.
But they're all getting like well known outside of Minneapolis too. It seems like.
Yeah.
I feel like Roddie's just about to say nice.
Yeah.
No, I'd probably say like either Gully Boys or Harper's Jar.
Word.
Yeah. I mean, I've listened to both of those. Harper's Jaw is really cool.
Harper's.
Fuck with
That was the first band we ever toured with. It was like ride or die homies. They fucking rock.
Yeah, because I asked
Yeah.
this exact question to Grant from Heart to Gold when they came through here, and like he was immediately like, "You gotta listen to Harper's Jaw."
That's that fucking band.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I like them.
That's sick.
They played Rash Fest, right? That was the
Yeah.
other Minneapolis band.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gully Boys played too, but it
Yeah.
was like
Yeah, that
like
was-
12:30 in the morning.
Yeah. That was lit though. They had a very lit crowd and set.
That's true. Eau Claire goes hard.
Shout out to Gash though. Gash is
I love
such,
Gash.
such an incredible band.
Yeah, they're so sick. More people should listen to Gash.
I like this band from Madison called Ghost Star. It's kind of noisy and mathy, and they just put out an EP called Swelling. That's really good. That's my Madison band.
Ghost Star.
Ghost Star, one word.
Oh, cool.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just saw a post on our emo that I feel needs attention.
Oh Lord.
Oh God.
Because it's an example of how fucking young kids are, like getting into the scene nowadays. Someone posted, "Hey, quick question: does anyone know how to pronounce Dikembe?"
Oh God.
Damn.
And like,
Well, that's how you do it.
I mean, yeah, like
You
no, I'm not trying to shame them for like not knowing, and it's cool that they asked, but it's just so weird that there are people now getting into the scene who don't know who Dikembe Mutombo is. Like, that's so weird.
I think I wasn't sure on how to pronounce it until like the 2012 episode of A
Oh,
Decade
shit.
Under
Oh,
the
really?
Influence.
Wow.
Oh shit!
I just don't know anything about sports though. Unless you're talking about the band from Boston. I know a lot about that band. That band rules.
Didn't they break up?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, you think so? I thought you knew everything there fucking was to know.
Jeez.
Damn it.
Poser.
Yeah.
Are we still talking like strictly emo bands from our areas?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
okay.
Or-
Shit.
You're gonna say
Gully
GIF,
Boys
weren't
and
you?
Harper's Jar both
I
are.
wasn't gonna say GIF. I wasn't
Well,
gonna say
yeah.
GIF. Ellie. You don't know
It
me.
doesn't
You're
have to be
like,
emo.
God.
Let's strike it. It doesn't have to be emo. Maybe DIY.
Okay,
makes
then
it-
I got some answers.
Yeah, that makes it way easier. Yeah, from Richmond. Fucking. I was gonna say GIF, but they're on Prosthetic now, so they're on the big come up now. But Listless, which is the like side band of like GIF, it's got like 3 of their members in it. They're just like ignorant, sludgy hardcore. They're stupid heavy. Let me think. The only emo band I could really think of was Padfoot, but like they're doing pretty well right now. Like they're getting a little bit of
They're
buzz.
still DIY, right?
Yeah, no, they totally are. It's just like they weren't. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like smaller bands that like nobody really knows about.
Is that a Chillwavve band?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Recently, a Chillwavve band, I believe. The Slow Goers, my band, maybe. Nobody knows who we are. Who else? I don't know. Fucking. There's a really good streamer band called In Wolves Clothing that you're gonna play with. They're really good. They're kind of sloppy, but there's charm to it, so it's cool.
Hell yeah.
A dead band now, unfortunately, as far as I know, 60659C probably put out like my favorite like strictly like emo violence record of this decade.
Yeah, that band was so fucking sick.
The band was powerful. But I don't think they're going to be playing shows anymore, unfortunately. Who else? I don't know. Yeah, that's all I can think of. Oh well.
All right, so I'm sorry to distract again, But I was just thinking about what do you think like the next bands that are gonna blow up are gonna sound like, and have any of you listened to that band? I wish I could skateboard.
Yes.
I have a look.
I've heard-
Yeah, they're cool.
I haven't listened
like
to them,
them.
but I've heard of them.
I haven't listened.
Yeah, Ben from Chillwavve sent me their LP, and holy shit, it's like emo mixed with grunge mixed with skate punk, and it's gonna blow everyone's fucking minds when it comes out.
I'm
And
here for
yeah, if bands are smart, they're gonna copy that sound next year.
it.
We were just arguing about skate punk on Facebook earlier today. Like what type of like skate punk? Is it really technical stuff or just like, you know,
No.
like title fight kind of, which I'm not saying title fight skate punk, but like kind of, you know, in that I guess like Lifetime vein.
More like not technical skate punk, but in that kind of like straightforward 10-foot pole type vein.
I don't know shit about skate punk.
No word.
I don't know shit.
It's just
I don't even know what's happening
it's
right
fast melodic hardcore with a little bit of technicality and a lot of vocal harmonies.
now. Cool. Mom jeans?
Yeah.
If someone did a skate punk cover of a Mom Jean song, it might be good. I'm not gonna lie.
Recently, I realized that "Follow Me" by Uncle Cracker could like easily be a Mom Jean song.
Which one is that? Is that the? Can you sing it?
It's like "Follow me, everything is all right." There's a riff in there that like
Oh yeah. Yeah. I guess when I was really young, I used to like that song. So it's weird that I don't like Mom Jeans.
Have we
Uh,
gotten
we
into
talking
all the
about-
local scenes?
If nobody else, since I posed the question, I guess I didn't have a chance to butt in with a response. But I do want to shout out. I don't know which ones you want to consider even emo, but like they're all good bands, kind of in that vein. If you're into, you know, the current emo scene. So It Goes is fucking fantastic. The Duke, who they're gonna put out a new album soon, and all the songs I've heard live are incredible. And also a band called Bummed Out are all doing great stuff in the area. And everyone already knows about This Is How It Ended in Tokyo. I don't need to plug them anymore.
oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hot band.
For like where I'm from,
Which is
There's
Philly?
not, like, a lot of-
Philly? Are you in
no,
Philly?
I'm from Western Mass.
Oh, okay. Wait. Oh yeah, that's
So-
right. Sorry, I thought that you were Dree, who is no longer here.
No,
Yeah.
I wish. But not really Western Mass, but from Worcester, this band called Peregrine is emo, and they're really freaking good.
And they named after the fucking
The Appleseed Cast.
Cast album.
Judging from how
The
they
one that-
sound, definitely.
The one that we couldn't remember.
But
That was episode
they're
one.
good.
Are they on that kind of like post-rocky emo tip?
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm down. That's that. Yeah, I'm all for that.
There's also like this band called Perennial, which is really sick. They're like synth punk. I used to live in a place, and my upstairs neighbor was in a band called Crafter, and they're like melodic hardcore.
Wait,
They're
yeah, I
really
totally know that. I know that band. Actually,
They rule.
Yeah, my roommate, who's like right next to me right now, went on tour with that band. They're talking about Crafter. Yeah, he's in a band called Death Itself. So
Yeah, I lived in the same building as their vocalist, and he's the
Yeah.
nicest person I've ever met. Also, Dump Him is really good.
That band's getting big, right?
Yeah,
I think
They
I've
like
seen
an
that.
audio tree.
Yeah.
Audio Tree big.
Oh
And
shit.
then, I also have some friends in a band from Connecticut called Cinema Stare that don't have any material out, but they're doing their record with Chris Teddy in this coming winter, so that's going to be
Tight.
really good.
Tight. All right.
I'll plug one more that's not from Richmond, but is only from an hour away. Infant Island is like one of my favorite bands to see live right now. Yeah, their
God,
new
that
shit.
band is sick.
They're like that. Their new shit is on some other shit.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a question that I know is gonna ruffle feathers. That were people that were talking on Twitter about this as we were recording. The question is, does Marietta deserve the hype? And people on Twitter in our thread were just talking about how we have done Marietta dirty, which we just haven't. We just aren't like worshiping Marietta the way that everyone does.
Yeah, I just don't care about that band, honestly.
I wouldn't go that far. It's just like it's not the band that I have worshipped in my lifetime.
Cooler than a lot of other bands, but like, yeah.
Are we gonna have to cut this part off so we don't get crucified?
I don't care.
No, I don't care.
care.
Yeah, hard for me to pitch in at all. I haven't really listened to Marietta much.
I care as much about people knowing my opinion on Marietta as I care about Marietta. So
I'm kind of in the same boat. Does nobody here like Marietta? Does anybody actually like Marietta?
I love Marietta.
Okay.
I like Marietta more than snowing.
Okay.
I love
kind of a
Marietta.
disgusting take.
I don't like snowing.
I think I don't like Roddie. I think that's going to be the main takeaway from this episode.
You knew what you had when you brought me on.
I knew it was a snake when I picked it up.
Roddie, what's the band that like made you want to start making emo music?
Making emo music?
Yeah.
That's a question.
Damn, it's kind of embarrassing. It's probably like Remo Drive when I first got into like emo shit. Like that was when like, oh, let me explain. Let me defend myself.
You don't need to.
No one said anything.
Especially because of vocals, that makes sense.
Like they were like when I first moved to Minneapolis and like niiice we started playing, we like really sucked for a long time. We didn't really like have like a genre or like kind of like a direction. And then that was at like the time when like Remo Drive like first started like blowing up, and like they were like my first like introduction to like emo music. So I was like, damn, that's cool. But like I don't really like that band anymore. But like
It's weird that I like niiice's music so much.
Is that weird?
Because we appear to have like diametrically opposite tastes in music.
It's not that I think like snowing like is like I just think their records kind of sound like shit, and like
that's fair. I like that.
They're just like so abrasive. Like the guitar is horrible.
It was literally mixed on iPod headphones.
Oh shit! I remember hearing about that. That's my favorite fun fact about like any album.
Like I know it's like punk and whatever, but like, like
I know it's punk, but punk sucks.
the whole like mantra behind that is just kind of like ooh, like, I don't care. Like I don't want it to hurt to listen to, you know.
True.
Try turning it down.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask this at one point, and I can totally strike it if you want me to, but the niiice EP, I know it existed. Why is it scrubbed from the internet?
It just wasn't very good.
Okay.
Like yeah.
Can you email it to me?
I don't even have it anymore.
Damn,
Holy shit, that's like next level.
Yeah, like Sage has it, I think, but like I don't have it.
Word. Okay.
Is it just like
No.
is it just like very amateur songwriting, or is
Extremely amateur songwriting. Like the songs are about like nothing, and like I don't know. It was just like really bad, and like yeah, no, it just wasn't very good. I think a lot the new record we got in the vault though, sick.
That's a good feeling.
Roddie, I feel like I should clarify that I don't actually dislike you. I'm just doing a bit.
And I it would be completely valid if you did.
Okay, word. Well, no, just because like the bit that I was doing on Twitter about not letting you on the podcast was like so convincing that Kyle thought I would be upset at you coming on.
That's sick.
That's just not the case. I just like love giving people shit.
I also love giving people shit. I'm not. Yeah, a lot of those like OG like Twinkle Daddy bands. I love Algernon, but like I don't think I'd like I don't know if y'all are into like Cap and Jazz and shit. I think that shit's like.
Wait, what band is that?
Captain Jazz.
Captain Jazz?
Are they a 90s band?
They're like 80s.
80s? They don't have anything to do with Soccer Mommy, do they? I feel like they have something to do with a band with a sport in their name.
We could be here all day.
Right.
I like a few like Captain Jazz songs, but like it just sounds like it's recorded with a toaster.
It was. It like most likely was.
What's funny about this podcast is that there's someone that hasn't called in, but is listening to it right now, and I don't know who
Nice.
it is.
Fuck it, we're gonna do it live.
Yeah, they're trying to hear some shit that we're gonna have to cut out, some controversial shit.
They're gonna hear that I said title fight was overrated.
Yeah. I wonder if it's Pigeon.
They said they're in
I don't
a
know.
U-Haul.
What's the next question?
Yeah. What's next?
All right, we want to keep going. Who's your favorite Little Rascal? The dog, to be honest.
Alfalfa. My hair used to stick up, so my mom used to call me Alfalfa all the time. So that's why he's my favorite.
Are we going by like the movie?
There's 2 movies, right? There's like a remake and or is that a TV show?
There was a TV show, I think.
Yeah, the original was the TV show.
I'm making this up, or is there one named Roscoe?
Maybe.
I don't know. I actually
My
have
favorite-
zero
Was that the
knowledge of
dog?
Little Rascals, other than my mom calling Alfalfa.
There's Buckwheat.
Buckwheat's my favorite. Buckwheat's my favorite.
Is Buckwheat wait? Which one's the kid who had like the 2 pickles and was like singing the song about the 2 pickles?
I got a pickle. I got a pickle. I got a pickle. Hey, 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 hey.
I don't remember.
That's
Buckwheat is my favorite because I should say Eddie Murphy's portrayal of Buckwheat on Saturday Night Live is my favorite Little Rascal.
Yeah.
That. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Because
All right.
the thing was Buckwheat got assassinated on TV.
Honest
it was
Hot take, but Eddie Murphy is like really cool.
Yeah.
I think people are mad at people were mad at him because his specials in the 80s were really homophobic, but he's like apologized hella since then and like actively donated money to like LGBT charities and like AIDS charities.
He was a pissed off. He was like a pissed off black dude in the 80s. They were all, well, I shouldn't say they were all homophobic. That's not true, but you know, it was a weird time. It almost sounds like I'm advocating for like homophobia, but
it was the 80s.
it was the 80s.
It was the 80s. We were all on cocaine. Homophobia was a way of life.
We recorded albums with toasters.
We recorded albums with toasters and we fucking loved it.
We loved every fucking minute of it.
Had to walk to the recording studio both ways uphill in the snow. I ate dog food with the roadies for Black Flag.
Shout out Eddie Murphy. Personal growth is sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In your opinion, do you think a band can hold the classification as emo while being more shoegaze leaning?
No.
I think the lines of emo are pretty blurred and like it's not really like as
Yeah.
I don't know, like a lot of the stuff that's like coming out that's considered emo just is a lot like just indie rock with like emo riffs.
Emo's a scene, not a sound anymore. So I mean, yeah.
It's a movement, man.
But I think if your sound is more shoegaze than emo, then it's not wrong to call you a shoegaze band and not an emo band.
You know that band Alien Boy?
Yeah.
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 I think that band does emo shoegaze.
Sure.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think like there's a few examples of like a band that is emo that uses a little bit too many pedals that kind of make them emo. I mean, that kind of make them shoegaze leaning emo and not like one or the other.
I don't know. I feel like that band Nothing has some emo influences, but no one ever calls them
I know.
an emo band. They're a shoegaze band.
I got called out earlier for saying Cymbals Eat Guitars was a shoegaze band when they're not, and I also never hear them called an emo band, and I think that they're both. So at least the first album, I don't really care about any other.
I think they fall under the general indie umbrella. Cymbals Eat Guitars.
Yeah, they're kind
I don't know, that first record is just like so. It just feels just kind of so at home with like, especially like Joan of Arc stuff. Maybe it's just his voice, but like
what was the
Arc
first
is
album
also
called again?
rock.
Something mountains.
Right.
yeah. Why can't I remember the name? But yeah.
Well, I guess if we can't remember the name of the album, that's pretty emo, right? It's probably a long title or some shit.
Why There a Mountain?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that had like fucking Brave Little Abacus vibes to me.
Oh, for sure.
Just like weird.
Yeah.
Way before that. Yeah, it's like really like kind of very kind of almost power pop, but like not powerful, but like kind of got that really kind of, you know, strong like Brian Wilson vibe almost.
Yeah, it's weird.
I feel bad about this, y'all, but I have to leave like soon-ish.
Okay.
So we should do some rapid fire questions.
Or
All right.
how about we reflect on 2 years of the E word?
We could do that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
We could do that. Most of the questions suck, right?
Yeah.
So that's okay.
Did you think we'd make it 2 years?
Honestly, I was thinking about this and I asked Dina. I was like, "Hey, can you believe I've been doing this podcast for like 2 years of my life?" And she looked at me and said, "Yes." So yeah.
I'd say like as a fan, I'm not surprised y'all have been going this long. I just think like the growth itself has been insane. Like the fact that you've had Christian from the Hotel you're on twice is kind of insane.
They invited themselves on.
Yeah, that's the funny part about that second one.
Like that's pretty fucking crazy to me, you know. And like all of snowing, you know.
Yeah, that you're reunited snowing.
That was
reunited snowing, fucking reunited my chem. The power the podcast holds is insane.
We need to get Title Fight on.
Get Title Fight on,
I want to
have them tour Japan.
right?
I want to be on the title fight episode.
Honestly, I feel like when we reunite bands, it's like a monkey's paw situation. Oh, my camp got it back together, but it's like one show in LA. Oh shit, snowing's back
It's
together,
not gonna
but
be
it's in
one show.
Japan.
It's a Japanese tour.
I know.
I'm not surprised we did it 2 years. We were calling ourselves a bi-monthly podcast, so technically we should have 52 episodes by November 21st, but I think we've been a little sloppy about recording 2 episodes a month, but I think it's also fine because we've started undertaking this huge project of A Decade Under the Influence, and there's so many moving parts. And
Yeah.
I think I think for having 40 episodes, we've hardly had duds, which I think is more impressive than having 52 episodes.
Yeah.
I have a question. Do any of y'all think, Kyle, including you, that we've had any bad episodes?
Yeah, all of them except this one.
What about the other one you were on?
That one's definitely the worst one. No.
It's Aaron.
I don't
It's
know.
Aaron's fault.
It's not. I love Aaron. I don't know. Can't think of what a dud might be for this podcast.
Maybe that just means
That
they're
has
all
already
duds.
been said.
They're
So
just all duds. I have a question, unrelated, but I can wait.
Ask the question now.
Okay, I was wondering, like, what if you're thinking that far ahead, what's coming after A Decade Under the Influence?
Yo, I don't know.
Well, what I really want is monetization of the podcast, but it's just been difficult because I feel like if we do that, we need to hold ourselves to a very consistent level of output and a very high level of quality. And I don't want to ask people for money if we're not giving them that. What's up?
not willing to commit to a high level of quality.
Damn.
Have you listened to the podcast?
That's I.
Bye. Oh, y'all should do y'all should fucking, I don't know, one y'all should fly out to the other, do a live episode.
I would love that. I would love to do a live taping of an episode.
Yeah.
Let's do it
In
at
the same
Fest
room. I'm tired of hearing, like, lag and fucking-
2021. Do it at Fest.
Yeah.
I think that we technically were invited to do it at not Fochilla, the other one. DIY Prom.
Oh, yeah. But like, we would have had to throw in some money, and we're very poor.
I think maybe a plan to keep the momentum going is just always having some kind of good guest. I think like that's the way to to keep people interested. Because if we just do, I liked our classic format of talking about news and stuff, but I think like the content of the episode mattered so much that people would tune in or not. So I think like having a guest or some kind of structure around the guest is like going to be the future.
Yeah, but I do enjoy like the Just Us episodes,
Right? Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they're really
Those are
fun.
Yeah.
Just invite everybody from Twitter to every episode.
Oh boy, that sounds great.
What if we just started doing that? We were like, hey, we're recording the E word right now. If you want to get your thoughts out, hop on.
That sounds dangerous.
Yeah.
Like some
Very dangerous.
AM radio shit.
Horrible people on the internet.
Or just post in the middle of the episode, we're currently taking callers.
I think it's fun just to give up the E-word Instagram password to people.
That is funny.
I liked controlling the E-word Instagram for a day. That was cool.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were like the second band to do that.
We were on 420.
Yeah, that's right. The biggest booking we've had on this podcast was you having the Instagram account on 420.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy to have a high-level celebrity like me control the Instagram.
Yeah, I don't, or we don't have a plan for the E-word in 2020, basically.
I'm writing a 5-year plan for myself.
Okay.
My blog, and I feel like the E word should be incorporated.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about this. We have almost 2,000 Twitter followers. If every single one of those people just contributed $1 a month, we could like quit our day jobs and focus entirely on producing internet content for profit. Like
It's $1.
$1 a month, and you could feed a starving person in Austin, Texas.
What else can we? I mean, yeah, this year's growth in like episodes was crazy because like we thought it was like the hugest deal to have Tom from Washed Up Emo on our fourth episode or whatever. But this year it's just been like, holy shit, this person's down with the podcast.
Yeah,
God, that was early on. Holy shit.
Yeah, it was episode 5, I think.
Yeah.
Damn.
Kyle, who's your dream guest?
I mean, I can't wait. I just know it's going to happen. I think Shitty Greg is going to be the best guest just because it's like that person is basically responsible of like the professional interaction between emo and between DIY and industry.
Yeah. I feel like that would be a really fascinating episode.
Yeah.
My dream guest is Scott Vogel from Terror.
Yo.
I changed my mind. Scott Vogel and Jamie Jasta.
Jamie Jasta is like the Joe Rogan of hardcore now, though.
Yo, I actually saw someone say that Pat Kindlon was the Joe Rogan of hardcore.
But I kind of believe the shit that like Patrick says is like you can actually like take some literal advice from that in your life. I don't know what
sure.
I don't know if I believe anything that Joe Rogan says is useful.
I think Jamie has the same problem Joe Rogan does, where he just reverts to the opinions of whoever his guest is.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You ever tried
That's what I'm doing
DMT?
now.
In the emo world, I think my dream guest would probably be Jeremy from Sunny Day Real Estate. Just to flex on Washed Up Emo.
Yeah, because he won't go on that.
Yeah. Or like Davey. That'd be real cool.
Yeah.
I think we would destroy the internet if Mike Kinsella came on.
Oh Jesus. Gerard Way on the pod.
Gerard Way would be cool. I think the last episode of the podcast ever would be Mom Jeans.
How far into the future would that be?
Like 6 months from now.
Who do you people think should come on the podcast?
Fuck you mean you people?
You all, you folks.
I was really waiting for Tamir to say that.
Jeremy Ball would be sick.
So
I was thinking.
Oh my god, that's actually
That's
my
what I
real,
was gonna say.
that's actually my real dream guest is Jeremy Bohm.
I could see that happening.
I could be like, I've seen your band 27 times and I've never met you. How are you?
I met him at what was it? The fucking Page 99 Majority Rule reunion show in Richmond. He like flew out from Texas to come to that show.
Jeez.
That was insane.
And he seems like such a swell guy, you know?
Yeah, he seemed really cool. As he was like surrounded by a bunch of fucking, 19-year-olds who just got into screamo. But it was sick.
I want to see Playboy Cardi on the pod. About emo music.
Okay, actually, hear me out. Wiccaphase.
Yeah.
It could be real cool to have Wiccaphase on.
Yeah.
That'd be really sick.
I feel like this last 10 minutes of the podcast is useless. This is just us being like,
Yeah, that's cool.
this is who we
Yeah, that'd
like.
be cool.
Yeah, for sure.
We need to center
Oh, yeah.
ourselves.
I don't know. I think we deserve. I think we deserve an opportunity to just kind of pat ourselves on the back real quick. You know, like honestly, I'm like really proud of the Decade Under the Influence. I think we've done like a really cool thing with it, which is kind of an hour and could be your life for this era of emo, which I don't know if anyone else would have done it.
Right.
Maybe Ian eventually, but like this is a thing that needed to be documented. I'm really glad that we're doing it.
Yeah. There was that point
Yeah.
when Ian Cohen was on and he was like, I don't know who's gonna do the 10-year appraisal on like parrot flies, and like we had already planned doing this, and I was just like sitting in my seat being like, that's gonna be us, motherfucker, you even know.
Ian Cohen said he was going to do like an Our Band Could Be Your Life sort of book about like the world is early era and like all those bands. And I asked if he wanted a co-writer, and he just said no.
I haven't read a book in like 5 years, but I'd read that.
I've read like 12 books so far this year, which is a little low for me. But I just picked up The Adventures of Cavalier and Clay and A Supposedly Fun Thing I'll Never Do Again by David Foster Wallace. And me and Dina are planning on reading Infinite Jest together. So trying to get back on that reading horse.
I read Tranny this year. That was really good.
Oh, Laura Jane Grace's book?
Yeah.
It's excellent. I read the NoFX autobiography, and it was fantastic.
I've heard that's good.
And I kind of hate that band now, but the book itself is really good.
John Gentili talks about that book all the time. Is Sean
Is
still
it
there?
Gentili?
Yeah, he's the guy from Punk News. He's kind of stepped down from a lot of Punk News stuff, but he still does the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's mostly an attorney, right?
Yeah, I mean he's been an attorney for a while, but
I just thought it was Gentile, like what my parents called the non-Jews.
I have literally listened to the Punk News podcast since the first episode.
yeah, it's weird having been like since that was like a podcast that like I was a big fan of, like then becoming a somewhat regular guest on it, and now I haven't done it in a while, and I haven't been keeping up with listening recently, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's cool.
I literally found out about Spotify because of that podcast. Like, that's how long it was going
Holy
on.
shit.
Yeah.
Because, like, Spotify was, like, not a thing for
Yeah.
a little bit when, like, podcasts were still a thing. And it was just like, yeah, there's this thing that's available in Canada right now called Spotify. And I was like, wow, I really hope that becomes available in the United States.
Hey, Kyle, which podcast would you like to be on besides Blink-155?
Better yet.
Better yet.
Oh shit, that'd be great.
I want to hear Kyle on Death Talk.
I want to hear that, too. I
And
love that fucking
I want everyone
podcast.
else to hear me. I want everyone else to hear me on Axe to Grind.
That'd be tight.
I feel like I get clowned.
I don't listen to Extra Grind a ton, but one of the bands I was playing with over this past summer gets talked about a fair amount on there. Pat's a big fan of hardcore band called Porcupine.
Porcupine.
There's that grunge band called Porcupine, too, right?
Yeah, it's one of the guys from Husker Du
Right,
started a
yes,
band called
right.
Porcupine. It fucked with everything on the internet. That band.
Porcupine.
Is that the end of the pod?
I know, like, what else is there to say at this point?
Have we tailed off? Let's do one last question.
Who is
best
the worst
one.
emo band ever?
Oh, sick.
Oh,
My Chemical Romance, hands down, easily. I don't fucking know.
Hot Mulligan.
Mhm.
I fucking hate Hot Mulligan.
That band is bad.
Flowers Tape Depends.
Ooh.
It's like That was like the only band when I was getting into like emo and screamo and shit that I like actually just disliked on first listen. I honestly probably wouldn't even hate them now, but that's my answer for this episode.
Can I say a
I feel like,
non-emo band that people think are emo?
Yeah.
I haven't liked the like
Four Mom Beats.
I have like hated the last 3 Menzingers albums, and everyone is like, "Bro, are you going to the Menzinger show?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm
That
leaving
band's
when the Menzingers go on."
Yeah.
The band is bad.
I mean, if you're a fan of the Menzingers, I don't think you even like have much to defend there. And I am a fan of the Menzingers. I just joined a very Menzingers-y band called Life Looks Good, and it's like, it's just the kind of thing that you have to kind of be into, but it's not really defensible on its own merits.
How can you even be a fan of the Menzingers if you're not a functional alcoholic? I feel like this question feels very like focused on today because all the bad bands from the 90s kind of are forgotten. You know, like for every mineral, there was like 5 shyness clinics. There was a ton of like shitty 90s emo bands that no one remembers anymore. Exactly. They're from Boston, I think. I know I talk a lot of shit, but like for the most part, like I'm not usually actually mad at things, and I kind of like a lot of stuff, like most things. So it's hard for me to think of like an emo band that I like genuinely like hate, and I don't want to like keep going back to that well.
Well, we all good
All right.
here?
Well,
Am I allowed to plug music?
Sure.
Okay. I mean, I just released like I'm in a bunch of bands right now, but I just released a solo album for my project called The Clusterfuck Theory, which is like me trying to do bomb the music industry, but like now I'm trying to branch out a bit more than that. But
Hell
yeah, I'm pretty proud of it. It's on all platforms and stuff. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm searching it up on Bandcamp right now.
Hell yeah.
yeah,
Thanks.
I'm writing down band names and stuff.
Sick.
Wait, what's the other band you're in?
I'm in Brian C. Stars. We're on hiatus right now.
That's right.
But yeah, a band called The Magnifiers. Mentioned Porcupine before. Life Looks Good. I can't remember what other bands I'm in. Periodically in a band called Bad Planning. They're cool. They're like kind of emo tinged, but like easy core ish, like Lifetime mixed with like kind of at the core Jawbreaker, like Lifetime Alkaline Trio, but then kind of more kind of easy core influence on that. They're cool. I've liked them for a long time, and now I'm playing with them. So
Cool.
Word.
yeah, very Such Gold.
Okay.
Hell
I
yeah.
very much for real have to go now.
Okay.
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 I'm going to edit this one a lot because there's a lot of silence. There's a lot of...
Yeah, we
A
had
lot
too many
of
people on,
everything.
so I feel like everyone was just waiting for their turn to talk.
Yeah, that's going to happen. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for our 2-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thanks.
This is
Thank you, Roddie. I amend my answer to niiice. I think niiice is the worst band of the past 20 years. Um,
Fuck yeah.
hell yeah. In the best way possible.